Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is time for Coffee Ann here on ON, AM, and FM. It is Thursday morning. It's October 27th in the year 2022. Right.
Or actually,
Dave
Tuesday
said.
is Belgium, right?
That's an old movie, Dave.
Yes, it is.
So I'm not sure.
I figured that our guest today would know that movie.
But he's not. He's got a very perplexed look, and he doesn't get it.
I have the perplexed look. I haven't been to movies since sound came out, so I'm not really sure what
This was
what's
a few
going on.
years after that, Bob.
After
it was in
sound.
the 1960s.
It was in color,
was-
too.
Yeah.
Color. Whoa.
How about that?
If this is Tuesday, it must be Belgium.
That's the name of the movie. Anyway, that's Bob Lauder.
But
Good
it's
morning, Bob.
Thursday, so
Good morning.
it could be
Good to be with
Woonsocket.
you.
Who knows?
Nice to see you as well. Nice Cape Cod sweatshirt you're wearing there.
Thank you.
Is that apropos for court?
I'm not going to be going to court today. so
Okay, very
great.
good.
That
Dave
he kno-
Richards
that he knows
is
of.
talking over there. We're waiting for the arrival of Emily Haining-Sheehan.
Yes, with
from
bated
the call.
breath.
And later on this morning, Liz Kerrigan from the city of Woonsocket will be joining us as well. So as we get things going here in the Coffee Ann program, you can call in your comments and questions at 766-1240. And first thing, Dave, since you lived out in that area,
No, please don't ask me this
I'm
question.
going to ask you that question.
Oh,
Out in
gosh.
Burrville?
Out in a Burrville question.
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
we had a news story, and they had an issue out there where there was a hydraulic truck that was leaking hydraulic fluid
Yeah, garbage
from a garbage truck,
Yeah.
Okay.
making the road slippery.
All right.
They will not
They had
tell
se-
us.
They had several crashes.
They will not tell us what roads are affected by the leakage.
Yeah.
This is Burrville. This one road.
Yeah. Well, we don't know how many roads.
There's others?
We don't know. They won't tell us.
I thought there was only one road in Burrville.
There's only
no,
one road
that's
in
not true.
Burrville.
There's
I
only
love
one.
making fun of it since Dave lived there. It's a beautiful town, but
But Bob's point is well taken. There is one road and several cart paths that have been paved over through the centuries. The Broncos Highway, Route 102, obviously, is the main thoroughfare through the town. But and let's straighten this out because I'm a little concerned that people are going to get the wrong idea. What happens when a news organization calls a police department and asks for information? Perhaps, especially in a smaller town like Burrville, perhaps the person who answers the phone is not empowered to talk to the media.
One person is usually.
Right. And that person may be on the road. That person may be otherwise occupied and can't come to the phone. And so they will say, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And so the question is, okay, we keep hearing these accident reports of people sliding into other cars and trees and stuff like that. Heaven knows. There's accidents happening because the road is slick because the hydraulic fluid has gotten into the to the macadam. So, so where's this happening? Where should we tell people to stay away from? I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you.
That's
So
the
the news
standard
story.
answer. Yeah.
The news story came across the wire, and I'm not kidding. The news story came across the wire saying police would not release to the public which roads were involved.
So it's your choice out there. So just you got to be careful driving around the whole town.
Yeah, but I'm sure that the police have it somewhat marked with cones, lights, whatever. There's
Yeah.
a police car there with flashing lights.
Message board out on the road, maybe.
Heaven knows what lengths they've gone to try to alert the public. So if you are there in Burrville and you happen to see this sort of thing, you know what now happened.
All right. So that's what's going on out there, Bob. Just there's
They'll re-
hydraulic fluid on the
They'll
roads.
release
and
it later.
They will.
It's,
They'll tell you
it
what
it
road
was
it's
just
on.
a matter that overnight they weren't comfortable talking to the press because their orders are to not.
Not to talk. That's right.
Right.
And we don't care what they're asking.
actually, I was out in Burrville yesterday because I had to go to probate court. And as I was driving back, I was taking pictures of the foliage because it's really, really beautiful out there.
Is it
Oh,
peeking
God.
out that
Yes.
way? Nice. Okay. All right, Bob. The question related to you, and as always, we know you don't do crime.
Well, I don't do crime in the sense of defending other people. Whether I do
Right.
crime in the office is entirely different.
But
you
there
should
were-
see the billing.
We should. Good one. Just
That's a
talking,
joke, Joe.
I know. Talking about our guy that allegedly drove into the Dollar Tree store over here in Park Square.
With a
Haven't seen
stolen
anything
car.
In the paper about it, though. Was it actually in the newspaper? I saw it, the television article, but I didn't see a report in the.
No.
Oh, okay.
You're correct. I didn't see it either.
But the question goes to you on a legal matter. He's being held without bail, and does it surprise you? Because one, they got him on stealing a car, and they got him on driving into the building. He almost hit somebody,
Okay.
but that didn't happen. He gets out. He's causing havoc. He's yelling and screaming. He's throwing things around the store. I don't know if there's anything.
Oh, more than
like
that.
And
More
then-
than that.
Okay, and he's got active arrest warrants.
That would be
That
the
was
part.
something. Is that what gets him the no bail?
Well, the no bail part comes up when.
It's a Nobel Prize, right?
Oh, Emily, please come in. Please come in. I can do the sports much better than I can do the puns.
The no bail.
No bail. When a individual has been arrested and brought before either a bail commissioner, if it's in the evening, overnight, over the weekend, or things like that, or before the judge of the district court, the person making the decision is going to be taking into consideration a whole lot of factors. One is probably going to be the severity of the crime, alleged crime, but another is going to be the likelihood that the person who's being charged poses a continuing danger to the public and or is a flight risk and won't be around when the time of the trial comes up. In this particular case, apparently the officer making the decision, either the bail commissioner or the judge, felt that this person was probably a flight risk and or a danger to other people should he be released into the community.
Well,
Probably.
because you had somebody, now just to fill in some of the blanks for you, you had someone who was fired for cause on Monday
From the Dollar Tree.
from
He was an
that
employee.
store.
Yeah.
Takes a car without permission.
From his room.
Right.
After an argument.
Drives it through the front of the store, gets out, starts threatening. He followed the store manager,
Yeah,
according to
chasing
our report, around the
them around.
store, trying to hurt her. And another bystander, a customer, who tried to get between them and assaulted them. And so when the police came, he refused to comply and ended up being tased in order to be taken into custody. So you have, this isn't just a little crime of passion. This is somebody who's gone off the deep end and could be dangerous to someone else or themselves.
But you also said
On
there
the
was-
surface, when you listen to that.
Yeah.
So what would a bail commissioner say? They'd say, oh, gee whiz, yeah, probably shouldn't let this guy back on the streets.
you also said something about there being warrants for his arrest.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I would think that would have played a big part in this as well.
Okay. Well, he's down there at the ACI cooling his heels, as to use another good cliche.
Yeah.
Well, if he's probably been, okay, today's Thursday, so he's probably been before a judge in the district court.
He was arrested on Tuesday. This is
All
when
right.
this all happened. So everything happened yesterday.
All right, so judge in the district court, case is going to be bound over probably to the Superior Court because it's probably felony charges involved. It's not just misdemeanors. They'll have another chance for a bail hearing in the Superior Court. See what happens.
Okay. Just wanted to check to see if it all sounded kosher and legal
So far,
from your end.
yes.
Yeah.
On the surface, though, it's the kind of client you would not be seeking, right?
I have done worse cases in the past.
Have you? Wow.
But I don't do criminal work any longer.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So they won't be
You
calling
had
your
enough of
office.
it. It's been done, right?
I have done it, and with results that were satisfactory to our clients. We had an arson case about 40 years ago where our client was accused of setting fire to an apartment building. We had a statutory rape case approximately that same period of time. But no, I don't do criminal work anymore.
Yeah.
How about this one though, Bob? This is kind of funny.
He's got something from the wire for you, Bob.
Yeah.
Yep. from the wires.
Now, I know you don't do Lauren, Ohio, but not that that matters. 2 men have been accused of cheating during an Ohio fishing tournament.
Oh gosh, you're
I
gonna
saw
hop on
that.
this one again.
Yeah, because it's funny. They've been accused of weighting down the fish.
There was some
because-
type of prize involved.
Oh, there's
wasn't
money.
there?
There's a lot of money involved.
A lot of
Okay.
money.
And that's why
yeah.
they're accused of cheating. The heaviest fish wins.
Right.
Well, no, heavy,
No?
the weight of the fish
Yeah.
and the length of the
Length,
fish
okay.
combined will go for biggest fish.
Okay.
So since we can't add any length to the fish,
Mm-hmm.
we can add weight.
Good.
And
That's
you
what
know,
they're accused of
I don't know
doing.
if you've been out fishing, Bob, but they have these little lead split weights that you can add to your line to make the bait sink or rise in
I
a
remember
certain
those
way,
yeah.
right? And you just crimp them right on. Well, you take a handful of those and you take your fish and you hold his mouth open and you toss it in there, and now your fish weighs more.
Now
Sounds pretty easy.
these 2 men have pleaded not guilty to the cheating.
Oh, come on.
They have on advice of attorney, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Jacob Runyon and Chase Kaminsky entered their pleas to charges of, here's what they're charged with: cheating, attempted grand theft,
Oh, sure, because of the prize money.
possessing criminal tools, and unlawful ownership of wild animals. Must be the fish, I guess.
I don't know about that.
So they allegedly put weights inside their catch during the Lake Erie Walleye Trail Tournament in Cleveland last month. Now they could face, if found guilty, up to 12 months in prison and a $2,500 in fines. Have you ever?
How did they determine that the guys had done this?
Well,
when they bring the fish
they're
back,
trying to
did
sneak
they-
the weights into the fish, but
Right.
now everyone's got one of these babies, their little phone, and another boat says, "Hey, I don't think they're doing something right over there," so they film them putting weights into the fish.
I thought they were X-raying the fish or something like that.
No, that's what they'll be doing
They got to
next.
do that next. Yeah, they got other tournaments going on in Ohio, and they're bringing out the metal detectors, and they gotta sweep the fish
Jeez.
to try to determine if there's extra metal in the fish.
Okay.
So how would you like to defend
I
that?
know that people are worried about fish ingesting mercury and things like that in contaminated waters, but I hadn't been thinking of lead weights.
Yeah, yeah. But how would you like to try to defend that?
Oh, I imagine there's some kind of defense that can come up. And the reason they plead
Temporary
not guilty, of
insanity.
course, they will try and work some type of a deal with the prosecutor to probably reduce the charges and have a lesser penalty and plead guilty to
What do
it.
you reduce the charges to? There's just the criminal tools,
Well, you could probably get rid of that, harboring the
the
was it
unlawful,
use of animals.
unlawful, yeah,
Okay.
just being in possession of unlawful wildlife.
Okay. That's,
All right.
that's a weird one, but
But once when you think you've heard it all in the courts, Bob,
hot dog.
here comes another one. You think fishing tournaments would be sacrilege and everything would be up on the up and up,
Not
But-
sacrilege.
Wait a minute.
but not. Yeah,
Wait a
that's the wrong word.
You mean sacred?
Fisher,
Sacred, yeah.
fishermen are the reputation is you sort of embellish the facts. I
Well,
got
that's
the
right. You
big
should have seen the.
It's
you
a
should have
fish
seen the
story.
one that got away.
Yeah,
It's a fish story,
and-
yeah, right.
So that's right in character. I don't think that's bad.
Well, the ones that go out and carry, and they catch the big sharks, like shark tournaments. No, they don't add weight to those babies because you really don't have to.
Right.
Does remind me though of when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, throwing fishing weights through a glass window in my dad's garage. That had a
Well, your dad
unfortunate-
must not have been happy with you.
No, it had an unfortunate consequence, and plea bargaining didn't exactly work as well there as it might in court.
And what was your plea?
I can't really recall because I couldn't have blamed it on my brother at the time. He was
Dad,
far
I'm
too
being,
young.
Dad, I'm
So-
being stupid.
Yeah, that's probably it.
All right, we're gonna take a break here in the Coffee and program.
I don't know where M is.
I don't know. Dave, go check to see if she's in the parking lot.
Why would she be in the parking lot?
I don't know.
The show's inside.
I know. Maybe
Got it.
she fell down. I don't know.
All right, I'll go look if you want me to.
All right, more coffee
wanna
hands.
get rid of him, right?
I do. More
Okay.
of coffee hands coming up. Stay tuned.
John Chan of Chan's Fine Oriental Dining in Woonsocket wants to thank you all for once again voting them Best Chinese Restaurant and Best Entertainment in the Woonsocket Call Reader's Choice Survey. Chan's is open every day at 3 p.m. for dine-in, takeout, entertainment, and, of course, you can enjoy their Horseshoe Bar Lounge and karaoke Friday nights from 8 to 11. Call Chan's today for takeout or reservations, 765-1900. Chan's is open at 267 Main Street in Woonsocket.
In Congress, David Cicilline is delivering for Rhode Island. As global events raise prices everywhere, including here at home, Cicilline is cutting costs for Rhode Islanders. He battled the pharmaceutical companies and lowered prescription drug prices for seniors. David took on the big corporations for price gouging and brought historic investments in infrastructure, manufacturing, and clean energy to create jobs, improve the supply of goods, and help reduce costs for consumers. Visit Cicilline.com and make your plan to vote on or before Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th. David Cicilline, delivering for Rhode Island.
I'm David Cicilline, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Cicilline Committee.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with Remax Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
Coffee and on ON Radio. Dave, you want to sing that number one more time for us?
You betcha. So you can remember it. 639-2906. 639-2906. If you can't sing better, at least you can put a beat to it, right? 639-2906. Add the 401 because it's in Rhode Island. Cha-cha-cha. There you go.
Pretty good, huh?
Fantastic. Great.
All right, since M from the call has not arrived, we have moved her segment to now, and we'll play recordings.
Have to play recordings, yes.
we do. So this segment of Coffee In is sponsored by The Call newspaper. The Call and OneSocketCall.com offer our readers so much more than just the daily news. Our photographers capture moments in time that are both entertaining as well as newsworthy. We also provide a daily community calendar to keep you informed about times and places of local event happenings. And don't forget, local sports coverage by our award-winning sports staff writers. Join our over 50,000 readers in print and online. Home delivery is just a phone call away at 767-8522. Call 767-8522 today to subscribe to Woonsocket's daily hometown newspaper, The Call, and OneSocketCall.com, serving you, our readers, since 1892. Coffee In on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Dave Richards.
We hope that M's feeling well today.
Yes.
Perhaps she is off her...
Off her game?
well, yes. Maybe she's not feeling well today.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
don't know.
You
But
know,
we...
there could be something more important in the world going on than being with the three of us.
There's nothing more important. What would that be,
I
Bob?
see.
I could imagine almost
Anything.
any number of things.
Like
she
court,
works for a
right?
newspaper. There's
I know.
lots of exciting things
Things could
happening.
be going on. So
Yeah.
okay,
That's true.
we'll find out at some point. Let's see other things that are going on. Jill Biden, First Lady, was in Rhode Island yesterday.
saw that.
Down there at my old school, the old stomping grounds, Rhode Island College.
Oh, I think you
went
went to
there.
school out in Idaho.
I went there for 1 year,
Oh.
but I graduated from Rhode Island College.
1 year is about all you can take of Idaho, Bob.
Well, that's not true.
Whoa, whoa. Joe talks about it. It almost sounds like it's a fun place to be.
It was fun. I could have transferred if I wanted to, but it was nice to be out there for a year. But that was fine, and then I wanted to come back.
Ah.
So, but Jill Biden was at Rhode Island College. My daughter was pretty stoked about the whole thing, only because one she likes the Bidens for some reason. She's a junior in high school, but Jill,
Wait a minute.
Jill came here to speak.
Adults like the Bidens, too, you know.
Oh well, like yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to hold that against you.
Okay.
But my daughter liked it because Jill Biden came there to speak to the up and coming students that I want to become teachers. Mm-hmm. That's what my daughter wants to do. So she was happy to hear the First Lady came and was pushing for more people, more young people, college age,
Yeah.
mostly college age, because that's why she was at Rick, to keep pursuing your career of becoming a school teacher, because we need more school teachers around the country.
We need more of a lot of different professionals around the country.
Do
It
we need
seems
more
to be-
lawyers?
Probably that's one of the few professions that you don't necessarily
there's a
need a
plethora
whole lot
of-
more.
yeah.
I know some people who've graduated from law school, passed the bar exam, and were not able to find a job somewhere.
Wow.
They work in other professions. But with regard to nurses, there's a shortage of nurses. There's a shortage of doctors. There's a shortage of truck drivers. There's a
Yeah.
large shortage of people to do jobs that are necessary for the benefit of all of us.
How come there's no shortage of lawyers?
Well,
Just kidding.
I could say that's the premier profession and everyone wants to be in.
I get it.
But
You could say that.
I
Yeah.
could say that.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's true. But
Wait a
you
minute.
could, you
Wait
could
a
say
minute.
He could say it. He doesn't have to be able to sell it.
that. Well, that's right. I guess the stepping ladder to being a lawyer after
Stepping
you
ladder.
well, the progression up the ladder after you graduate law school and after you pass the bar exam,
Right.
You can't really go into practice for yourself immediately. You could try, but I don't think you'd be successful.
You could, but you're right. I think most of us
Takes too
go
long to get a
into
client base.
Working
Yeah.
in a firm to learn the practicalities of it. When you get out of law school and you pass the bar, you don't really know, how do I file a case in court? What does the pleading have to look like? How do I get it served? That sort of thing. And working with another lawyer is a good way of learning a lot of the practicalities of how you practice. I was very fortunate back in 1973 when I got out of law school in '72. I was offered a job by a little firm that was in Woonsocket at the time called Levine and Sutherland, Omer Sutherland and Lou Levine, and they had a few people working for them. Paul Belargin, who's a very famous lawyer in North Smithfield, was working with them. Joe DiGianfilippo, he's passed away. Pamela Mactaz, who became a family
Judge.
court judge, she was working with them. And it was a good way to know how to actually do the practicalities of being a lawyer and not just the theories of it. And I was fortunate.
Did you, Bob, have a plan in mind after getting hired by this firm? Okay, I'm going to stay here for X number of years, and then I want to start my own practice. Or did you have another plan entirely?
Well, I actually didn't even have a plan to start working with them. It was
Okay.
a very, very fortunate circumstance. When I got out of the law school in '72, I had been already commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Army. And I had a legal commitment to serve for 2 years as an officer in the Army. And this was during the Vietnam War years. So I graduated, and I was waiting for my call up to actually go into the service. And a good friend of my mother's had a summer camp out on Spring Lake that was next door to Omer Sutherland's summer camp. And one day she's out on the porch talking, and she says, I know this young kid who's just graduated from law school, and he's looking for something to do until he gets called up, which is probably going to be in about 5 or 6 months. And Omer was generous and said, well, have him come over and talk with me. And I did, and he hired me, and circumstances were such that because of the wind down in the Vietnam War years, the Army had an overabundance of second lieutenants at the time, and I had some choices as to how much time I would spend in the military, and I chose a shorter time than originally anticipated, and Omer was kind enough to have me come back and work for him for another 4 years. So
Okay.
yeah.
So when did you make the decision, hey, I want to open up my own practice?
Well, it was about 4 years into it, and I was very fortunate again because I was looking around, and Howard Portney, who's a lawyer in North Smithfield and is now the probate judge in Woonsocket, had said, I heard you were looking around, and I've got some space over here in my office. Would you like to come over and share expenses and work here? You're not a partner or anything like that.
You're
but-
your own
Yeah.
business, right?
You're cutting down on my expenses, and
Yeah.
I have some space. And he was very generous in that. And I was with Howard for a few years. Another lawyer came along, Bill Savastano. He's just recently retired. He was in North Smithfield. And Howard invited him in, so there were the three of us in the office. And that remained pretty much the way it was until I purchased the building that I'm in now back in 1994. And said to Bill, you want to come over and be in the new building? And I think Bill's idea was, hey, once Larder's out of here, I'm going to have all this extra space. I'm not going to have all the problems of moving my stuff to another location. I'm going to stay here, and Bob can go to his other building.
All right. Well, good plan, though. Bud. It's
Wasn't
weird how
glad.
things
It
work
just
out,
worked
huh?
out well.
All right.
I
Very
was
good.
very fortunate. I met very good people along the way who helped me out.
All right. We had another person here in Woonsocket, Bob, that got sentenced. 33-year-old Woonsocket man, 8 years in prison, 2 to serve, 6 suspended with probation. The Attorney General's office says Willie Love entered a plea of no contest to carrying a pistol without a license and conspiracy to sell a concealable weapon without proper paperwork. He is a previously convicted felon, and he's not allowed to buy firearms under federal law. Makes you wonder how he got it then. So the one question, Bob. When it says 2 to serve and 6 suspended with probation, is there a difference between 6 years suspended with probation or just 6 years suspended?
Well, with probation, of course, means that he has to actually report to a probation officer.
Okay.
And if he fails to do that and tell the officer what he's doing and basically confirm that he's being a good citizen, then he can be held in violation of the probation and returned to the ACI for the continuance of his sentence.
Okay. Is this kind of common for things like this? Carrying a weapon kind of thing. The 2 years, 6 suspended.
Well, I think the fact it's not just the carrying the weapon; it's the part that he was a convicted felon. That made it a more serious circumstance.
Yeah.
If it was your mother who'd been walking along the street with a 45 in her pocketbook, that would have been probably not result in the same kind of
Same sentence?
conviction that you have here.
Okay. The fun never ends.
Hey, wow.
Dan McKee's daughter was kicked off The Voice.
Oh,
Did you know she was on The Voice?
not until I heard it this morning.
Karen McKee. She was eliminated from the show probably a few months ago. But these
Yeah.
reality shows, you got to keep quiet about it until it actually airs. And so it aired last night.
She must have been good to be on the show to start with.
Well, just to begin with, you got to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
In order for the quote unquote experts. This is how much I know about this show. The quote unquote experts like how you sound, so they take you on, and the experts become your coach to try to make you better. So
I heard that, and I was wondering exactly what do the experts, how do they coach them? What do they tell them to do?
Well, first of all, on the show, they can't see who's singing. They spin around in their chairs, and so all they can do is hear them.
Oh,
They can't see what they look like. They can't any kind
All
of
right.
presentation. So all they're doing is listening to them sing. And as the show is going along, and as they're listening to them sing, if the experts think, yeah, there's someone I can work with, they hit the buzzer, like game show. Said, all right, I'll take this one on.
all right.
And so the musician John Legend, he hits his buzzer. I'll help her. And so they go off, weeks of basically practice. Okay, sing for me. Okay, sing it this way.
Okay.
Try to go higher. Maybe try to go lower. Take that note and stretch it out. How to give a better presentation when you're singing whatever you're singing, and they try to make them the best performer they can.
You know a lot about this.
I do. I know way too much about this. And so then they come back, and then it's all to win money to try to be the top one, and then people vote and like that of who the better singers are, and they just try to this is this is the best job we did with you.
Okay.
So here we go. So there you go.
When are you going on the show?
Oh, that would be never. See, first of all, you got to have some talent first.
Well, you just explained a whole lot of talent.
Yeah, that's explaining talent. That's not having talent, Bob.
Oh,
So singing, no. No, no one would be hitting the buzzer. And I know the other show. What's the other show? American Idol. Brings people on that can't sing well on purpose. So everyone has a good laugh in the crowd.
That's kinda cruel.
They've done that before. I think they tell the person ahead of time, this is what's going to happen. And this is why you're here. And here's some money.
you're really terrible.
So
but we
you're
wanna
not
make fun of
you're
you.
certainly not good as them. You're here for some comic relief. Are you okay with that? They say yes. Hey, I get to be on TV. Okay, then we go in
right.
that direction. If you're not okay with it, okay, thanks for coming in. Goodbye. So I don't need either one. So I won't be on either. All right.
Oh, darn. It's nice to meet a man who says he doesn't need money, though.
I didn't say
I
that.
admire that.
I didn't say that part. I just
Oh.
said some things I won't be singing for money. That's something that won't happen.
Darn.
All right.
Now,
This
if Emily was here, we'd be able to hear singing for good.
I know.
And
I
it wouldn't
know.
even be money involved.
I know. How great is that?
That is fantastic.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program and bring you the weather forecast, which is being brought to you by Compassion International.
Sunny and breezy today with a high of 65 and a northwest breeze up to 24 miles per hour. Tonight, clear, down to 36 degrees with a north wind up to 22 miles an hour. Friday's weather increasingly cloudy with a high of 53. Friday night, partly cloudy, 32. Saturday, sunshine and 59. Sunday, sunshine and 63. Monday, mostly cloudy with a 50-50 chance of rain, high of 65. Tuesday, mostly cloudy and 65 with a 30% chance of rain. And next Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 65.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have sunny skies and 58 degrees. Drought, war, and rising food prices have devastated families in poverty. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646. This segment of Coffee and has been sponsored by the Call newspaper. Do you have an apartment or home for rent? Or perhaps you have extra items to sell. With over 50,000 readers in print and online, The Call and OneSocketCall.com is the best place to reach customers here in the Blackstone Valley. Whether it's apartment rentals, homes for sale or rent, lost and found items, or even job listings, our classifieds offer an affordable way to reach readers, subscribers, and advertisers every day of the week. So, if you have something you want to sell, call us today at 767-8503 with your ad, and it will appear in the next day's call. Be sure to call before the 2:30 p.m. deadline. That's 767-8503 to place your ad today.
The high cost of living, rising energy costs, safe streets, secure elections. These are the issues facing every Rhode Islander, and they require real leadership and real solutions. My name is John Brian, and as State Representative for District 49, I assure you that I will work to earn your trust each and every day that I serve as your state representative. I'm running as an independent candidate because in this climate of political gridlock and consistent conflict, I think it is truly important to elect candidates that will have an open mind regardless of party or personality. Neither political party has a monopoly on good or bad ideas, holding the city, town, or state back because of a party designation holds us back from the successes that we could otherwise achieve. As a former state representative and vice president of the Woonsocket City Council, I have the experience and knowledge to hit the ground running on day one. I humbly ask you for your vote, and I look forward to serving you as your state representative. Paid for, Friends of John Brian.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
It is Coffee and here on ON, AM, and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Bob Lauder, and we're also being joined by Liz Kerrigan. Hi, Liz.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing well, thanks. We're going to talk to Liz in just a second. Bob, it's time for a first message from your law office, please.
Good morning. Thank you. I'd like to talk to you this morning about title examinations. What is it and when is it necessary? Whenever anyone is interested in the acquisition of real estate or lending money to someone who's going to be pledging the real estate as security for the loan, it's prudent for the individual so engaged to undertake an examination of the title to make sure that the individual acquiring the real estate or pledging the real estate as collateral for a secured loan has a clear title to the real estate. Clear title means that the individual owning the real estate has sole and unencumbered right to ownership of the real estate and the right to convey the real estate to others. There are many occasions when an individual who believes they have clear title to real estate may in fact have less than a clear title. Ownership of real estate is evidenced by deeds recorded in the Registry of Deeds for the municipality wherein the real estate is located. In Rhode Island, this is in the town or city hall. In Massachusetts, in the county. Those records and deeds constitute a title to the real estate. There are events which will place a limit on the rights of the owner of real estate to either sell the real estate or to refinance it. Those events can include the death of one of the owners, or an encumbrance placed on the title in the form of restrictions, or a mortgage deed, or a lien on the property. In order to make sure that the property owner has the clear title, that is, the unencumbered right to sell or pledge the real estate, it's prudent for the individuals involved to undertake a review of the land evidence records. That is, go to the Registry of Deeds, holding copies of the deeds and mortgages, attachments, restrictions, liens, and other documents that have been recorded, to read through them carefully to determine that all the legal obligations set forth in the documents have been fulfilled, and that the owner does in fact have the clear and unencumbered right to the real estate. In my next commercial, I'll talk a little bit more about the types of issues that may encumber a title to real estate. If you'd like to discuss this or other legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And Emily's not here to sing it for me.
Sorry,
Disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob.
I'd like to
Thank
carrot
you.
something in on Bob's message here for you. Excuse me, Joe. There was a time when Bob and I didn't know each other. And really, where Denise and I built our house, where we raised our family out there in Pascoag, we took care of the whole thing like that. Everything seemed to be going along kickety-boo. We got Bob involved in something, and they said, "Do you realize you have a problem with that title?" The other people never saw it, but Bob found it. He's a very detail-oriented person. I just want to add that onto your commercial. I know
Thank you.
you wouldn't say that, Bob, but this guy is very, very detail-oriented, and if there's a problem, he's going to find it. And you got to do that, otherwise they'll come back and bite you later.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
All right, very good. Liz Kerrigan,
Yes, she is.
Hello.
Parks and Rec
Here I am.
Superintendent here in Woonsocket and interim solid waste coordinator as well.
And best coach ever.
Best
And
coach
best
ever.
coast
That's right.
My cup says so.
Did you buy that yourself, though?
No.
Oh, someone gave it to you. Oh, perfect. All right, very good. Now,
What are we talking about first? Parks and Rec, or the best coach?
we're going to talk Parks and Rec for just a minute. But how
we got a
did-
big event coming up Saturday.
I know, but
was
before
hoping she'd
that,
talk to me. What?
how did the Halloween party go?
The Halloween party
yeah.
and the pumpkin patch
And the-
were
yeah.
smashing successes.
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. I'm so
She
glad.
was smashing pumpkins.
I've heard of them. Well attended and
Awesome
lots of
attendance.
kids. Yeah.
The families were phenomenal,
Yeah.
super sweet, super appreciative. Just wonderful, wonderful. It's like the epitome of the fall activities were those two activities,
Mm-hmm.
and I love them. Those my favorite time of the year.
Fall time. All right.
Tiring though, isn't it?
It's exhausting when you do 10 to 12 miles per event.
Just walking?
just in
Just-
setup and like
Yeah.
coordinating and
Yeah.
running around. That's a long mileage in 3 hours.
Sure.
I want to run a marathon.
Well,
You're
because
walking
we had
10 miles in 3 hours? What?
Well,
In a circle.
between setup and
Sure,
and then
right.
the event itself. Oh yeah,
You put your pedometer on at the beginning of
I have
the
my
day,
phone
and
in
at
my
the end of the
pocket
day, yeah.
and I'm running
your steps in.
tables and everything. Yeah.
whenever there's a problem, they call him Liz. Come over here.
And you're at River's Edge, right? It's our giant complex.
bar.
And I'm at one end where all the supplies are, and somebody's like, I need scissors. Well, they're all
Over
the way over
there.
there. So I bring the scissors. Oh, do you have tape?
I'll go back and get it.
Oh, well, hold on. Let me go way
Go
over
back
there.
and get it.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
yeah.
What was the movie that was shown? Can you?
We
say what
did
that's named?
the Adams Family 2.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because we just had
Oh,
it.
so
You know,
that
it's
was
creepy but not scary.
Creepy but not scary.
Yeah.
Right.
I
We have a
think
creepy
that's-
I love that.
zone. So,
Yeah.
and next year I kind of figured out that we're going to make it a little bit different.
Okay. In what way?
Well, I can't tell you.
Sorry.
It's just
You have
going
to
to be a
shut the show up.
surprise.
So it's going to be a little different. Okay.
But yeah, so we have a creepy zone that's no jump scares is what I
Right, right.
so that the little ones can still go through.
Oh gosh,
And
yeah.
they'll
Jump
like it.
scares can really.
I don't like
Affect
jump
people.
scares.
Do you know what that is, Bob?
No idea.
Someone jumps out at you.
Yeah.
And
And,
scares
and it scares you.
Oh.
it's called
yeah,
a jump
it's
scare.
just not fun for little ones.
No.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Not fun for old people either.
No. No.
Well, I'm glad to hear it was a smashing success, and it's something that you'll continue next year as well.
Correct. It'll
All
be
right.
10 years next year for the patch.
Wow. Fantastic. So coming up this Saturday, this is a yearly event, right? The Eco Depot
My favorite
Collection
yearly
Day?
event.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
This takes place over on River Street
Yes.
at the Woonsocket Public Services. Tell us what it's about.
So we have this event to, first of all, it's my first year doing this as the solid waste coordinator. So it's an event where we get rid of all of the most hazardous waste that you have in your home. So anything that's labeled toxic, flammable,
Paint.
paint,
Paint,
light
yeah.
bulbs,
Yeah.
motor oils, and
Gasoline.
yeah, just pool chemicals. You know, everybody's done with
Yeah.
their pool season right now. It's things that you don't want to get into our water. We don't want it to get into our grounds. We don't want it to go into our landfill. This is a safe place to dispose of anything that's just maybe you shouldn't put in your trash can.
Oh yeah.
That kind of stuff. And then we also group it together with being so that event, the hazardous waste portion of it is for all Rhode Island residents. There's two more steps to it. We are allowing anyone to bring in any of their e-waste, so televisions, monitors, things of that nature.
Computers.
Old computers, yeah.
Things like that. That'll be also collected that day. Anybody can bring those things in. And then for Woonsocket residents only, we are including document shredding. So that's a huge, bonus
Oh, yeah.
for Woonsocket residents.
All your old bills, your insurance
Yep,
receipts
statements.
and stuff like
Yep.
stuff like that.
What's the limit on the document shredding? How much can you bring in?
Well,
So there is no established limit, but we certainly can't have like
Be
a box
reasonable.
truck come in.
Okay.
Within
Be
reason. A
reasonable,
couple
right.
of boxes, I imagine,
Okay.
is fair. Yeah.
Just looking at the flyer for the Eco Depot, which is this Saturday, October 29th, 8 to 12 in the morning, 8 in the morning to 12 noon, I should say, at Woonsocket Public Services. For household hazardous waste, it says an appointment is needed.
Right. So they can go to ecodepotrI.org or they can call a number. I'll give it to you real quick. It's 401-942-1430. There's an extension of 3241. You can go to either one of those places. You can call my office if I just said that all too fast. You make an appointment. They'll tell you general time. It's just to avoid everybody showing up at 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And then you have a line.
Down River Street.
And then
Oh,
you're,
it has
there's
happened.
always a line.
it has happened.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged.
You're back up to cowboys, and we're talking the highway barn, which is what people are going to call it. But we're really trying to train them to say Woonsocket Public Services.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah. It's the highway barn. I still call it the highway barn. But
Give
yeah.
it a few years.
So don't get discouraged. I mean, once you're in line, it's about 15 minutes.
That's not bad.
But to keep that kind of pace, to allow, the one or two people that don't have an appointment, things like that, we ask for appointments so they can pace out
Yeah.
everybody.
I see. And they will be checking IDs to make sure
Yes.
you're from Rhode Island. So
Correct.
I can't sneak in there with my Massachusetts license plates on my
No.
car.
Nope.
Sorry, you're going to have to go away, sir. Well, all right.
And you should be a Woonsocket resident for the recycle.
Well, that's
For
right.
their shredding.
Shredding,
For the shredding.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
The
Bob?
illustration at the top shows things that I would have expected, paint and things like that. It also shows light bulbs. I didn't
Oh, those
realize that
fluorescent light bulbs.
were-
There's here's me not knowing exactly what the word is, but there's something inside the
Something.
bulbs
It's a little
that
mercury.
the mercury. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah. So you shouldn't technically be throwing those types.
There's a drop of
Not
mercury
technically,
in
yeah.
all of those bulbs.
That I did
It's
not
well
know.
contained, but you
Right.
don't want to put it into the ground.
Right.
Okay, I didn't realize that light bulbs were included as hazardous waste.
They are.
Great.
Batteries
well, those
would be,
kind, not the incandescent. The
Right.
incandescent, the only ones we grew up with, the ones that Congress made illegal. None of that stuff is hazardous waste, really. But the all the fluorescents that we went to, yeah,
Batteries are considered hazardous waste, aren't
Yep,
they?
yep.
Yeah. So like your D's and your C's and
boxes
and
of them.
9-volt and all those babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are supposed
Get
to go
ready.
to-
The Kia is going to be weighed down to the ground with batteries.
with batteries.
You called for an appointment, I hope. Because if you don't have an
that's
appointment,
right.
they'll
I got to have an appointment for the batteries, don't I?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the hazardous waste. Yep. Okay, more on the Eco Depot coming up in just a few minutes, but we have to get a second message from Bob Lauder's law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. A few minutes ago, I discussed with you the prudence in securing a title examination to real estate when you are either intend to purchase or which you intend to constitute as collateral for a secured loan. When I suggested the review be made of land evidence records, I would encourage the individual so involved to hire a professional, either an attorney or a title insurance company, to undertake the review, and not to do this on your own. The records may be confusing, and there are legal elements incorporated into titles which an amateur may not be aware of. There are many circumstances which arise in the ownership of real estate which affect one's unencumbered right to either sell or pledge the property. For example, deeds of conveyance not only identify the specific location of the land being conveyed by the deed, but also identify those individuals or entities who are acquiring title to the real estate. When real estate is being acquired by two or more individuals, the nature of the relationship between the individuals is frequently included in the instrument. The individuals may be acquiring the title as joint tenants or tenants by the entirety, which means that if one of the owners dies, the interest of the deceased is automatically acquired by the other living owners. However, if the deed makes reference to the owners acquiring the title as tenants in common, or if the deed makes no reference whatsoever, in the event of the death of one of the owners, the other owners do not automatically acquire the interest of the deceased, but rather the interest of the deceased passes to the beneficiaries identified in the last will and testament of the deceased, or in the absence of a last will and testament, by the heirs at law of the deceased, whose signatures will be necessary on any deed conveying interest in the property. This last situation is not as uncommon as one might suppose. My office has been involved in a number of cases wherein real estate was acquired by two individuals as tenants in common, and following the death of one of the owners, the surviving owner was restrained from conveying clear title until the true owner of the deceased individual can be located and included in any deed of conveyance. If you'd like to discuss this or other legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, without music. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks. The Coffee and program will continue here on ON Radio.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Paul Bourget, chairman of the Woonsocket School Committee, is asking for your vote to re-elect him and the current members of the school committee, including Donald Burke, Lynn Kapiskas, Alan LeClaire, and Amy Costa. For the past 2 years, your current school committee has provided experienced leadership and commitment to our students, their parents, and the school administration. They've listened and acted on school issues such as bullying and mask wearing. The school committee approved programs and personnel to address learning loss and social-emotional support. In addition, the school committee provided for a safe and healthy environment for our students. And currently, they're planning for the building and rehabilitation of our schools. Know that your school committee will continue to make sure that our students receive the best education possible. So please, cast your vote for Donald Burke, Lynn Kapiskas, Alan LeClaire, Amy Costa, and Paul Bourget.
Paid for by the Campaign for Paul Bourget.
Do you want to learn and have fun? Our students do this every day at the Woonsocket Regional Career and Technical Center, where we put our students first. Our students are prepared for the real world, gain hands-on experiences, earn college credit, and graduate with industry-level credentials. But most importantly, our students choose to be here. Experience the reasons why over 700 students choose to join our Career Center family, where they are surrounded by caring instructors and staff that support them through their high school career. Come, be part of the best student body around. Join us for our annual open house on Thursday, November 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Regional Career Center located at 400 Aylesworth Avenue in Woonsocket. Students in grades 7 through 10 can apply for any of our programs, including automotive technology, biotechnology, biomedical, child studies and human services, computer science, game design and P-Tech, home building, pre-engineering, construction technology, culinary arts and AMP, baking, digital media, film studies, graphic design, printing, and the visual arts, health careers, or travel, tourism, and hospitality. Again, our open house is on Thursday, November 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Woonsocket Regional Career and Technical Facility, 400 Aylesworth Avenue, Woonsocket. For more information, find us on the web by searching WACTC Woonsocket or call us at 767-4660. Come join our family at the Woonsocket Regional Career and Technical Center, where learning and fun meet daily.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
It is Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder, Liz Kerrigan, Parks and Rec Superintendent, and the interim solid waste coordinator. Dave Richards is here as well. We'll talk about the Eco Depot event, Collection Day, that is happening this Saturday, October 29th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. One thing we forgot to tell everybody, this is free.
Yes. Yes,
I mean,
it's free to
there's
get rid
nothing
of
to-
these things that are
Yes.
so hard to get rid of.
That's the best part.
Yes.
One more question about
Yeah.
calling for the appointment ahead of time. Is there an hour limit? Like, do the telephones close down at 4:30 or 5 o'clock?
good
or
question.
Could you call in at 7 and say, I'd like to be there tomorrow?
Good question. Maybe in the next break I will try to find out.
Oh,
I have
okay.
no idea.
All right.
But you can certainly go on to ecodepotri.org.
24
Ah.
hours.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's presuming a certain degree of
Worst-
technical expertise.
Computer literacy is what
Yeah.
they call it, Bob.
Absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah.
As best as they can, they try not to discourage anybody.
Okay.
Unless it just becomes complete. And that's where you don't want to risk it because the event is so popular. We process 400 to 450 cars in that 4-hour period. So
It's just
the last.
It's just nonstop.
It's
right?
just nonstop.
Yeah.
So the last thing we want is 400 cars to come in without an appointment.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it would make
It'd be
the
chaos.
event it would make the event so inefficient that
Yeah.
the next year you might not want to do it, and instead of coming, you'll do something that you shouldn't do and throw it away the wrong way. So appointments are highly, highly encouraged.
So I remember being there a couple of years ago
Yeah.
and getting rid of 20 years worth of paint that had been left over from various little projects in
Yeah.
the house, and it was great.
Yeah.
Cleaned out the cellar. Didn't feel bad about how I was getting rid of it.
You always think, I'll just keep it because I'm going to use it again.
Yeah.
And now it's 20 years. Now it's 20 years later. You haven't used it at all.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So when you talk about the household hazardous waste, that's the appointments needed. The e-waste, the computers and monitors and things like that, no appointment. Document shredding, no appointment. So when you show up, are they asking you what you're giving away, and then they shoot you in different directions?
Correct. So when you there'll be signs, saying, have your ID ready, so that we're
Yeah.
not waiting for people to fumble at the beginning of the line.
Yeah.
They check your ID at the beginning. You're gonna stay in the same flow of traffic, and then we split you
Yeah.
if you're leaving or if you're proceeding with Eco Depot. So you're only in the same line until the Eco Depot portion of it. So if you have document shredding, you don't need to worry about it having to stay in the line through Eco Depot. There is a point where it veers off and you can exit one way if you're done with us. So you're first going to do your document shredding and your e-waste. Again, if you don't have that, you're proceeding right straight through that line. But if you do have it, but you don't have any Eco Depot, you don't have to continue to stay in the line. We have a separate exit for those that are coming in just for that.
And weather looks great for Saturday, by
Yes.
the way. I'm sure these
It is-
events have taken place in the rain.
It's rain or shine,
Yeah.
and I was talking to the organizers of the Eco Depot, like the company that comes in and does this for us. And and they have done it in torrential downpours, and they're
sure.
20 not volunteers, they're staff of, I believe they come in with 18 to 20, they said.
Wow.
And that's why it's a well-oiled machine. There's 2 different lines, 10 tables, I believe. So we were talking outside in the lobby, you never get out of your car. You pull in, you tell them what you have,
They take it.
you pop your trunk, they pull it out for you, they tell you pull up to the 3rd table over there, and it's seamless, is what I'm hearing. I can't wait to see it happen because
In
it's
action.
exciting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That was a question I asked, mostly about the document shredding. If you're bringing documents to shred and you pass them over, are they shredding them immediately, or do they store them and well?
We're shredding as we go. Yep.
Oh, shredding as you go.
Yep.
Because I was wondering if people would be concerned about that. Well, here I am handing over these papers that I want to be shredded, yet they have your information on it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're just going to hold it, we'll shred it at a later time. Who knows can see it, but they
Right.
shred it right then.
They shred it right then.
Well, that's very convenient.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Let's see now. Other questions, Bob?
Well, you had the big party for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next similar type event that's coming up?
So,
Anything for Christmas or
yes,
New Year's or?
yes, our Winter
Okay.
Wonderland is a phenomenal event that the city puts together. It's going to be in conjunction with the Main Street Stroll. So it's 2 separate events, but our teams help each other. We get along. We work cohesively to not duplicate efforts. And so the night of the Main Street Stroll is the same night as our Winter Wonderland. So you have from the Polar Express all the way down to River Island Park. There is something going on throughout the entire strip. It brings in thousands of people, and it's just a beautiful. It's straight. It was said at my pumpkin patch that the event is straight out of like a Hallmark movie. Well, the Winter Wonderland is right up there with it. You would think that you are in, small town USA.
Right,
And
yeah.
there's just
Magical
night,
Christmas time of
and
year.
you can just walk down all of Main Street, and you're in some like Hallmark movie, and you're in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Go figure.
Main Street looks so much more popular now than it has in the last few years.
Yeah.
Most of the stores seem to be occupied. It's really coming back.
It's nice that all the businesses on Main Street decorate.
Yep, they all
their
decorate.
windows and
There's
things like that.
different contests and displays, and nostalgic items come back. I don't quite remember the McCarthy's clock. I kind of sort of do, but they brought back like a replica a couple years ago. The Stroll Committee did, and down at Winter Wonderland it's all of the park. We have live ice carvings, live wood carvings. We have live music. Santa comes in. We already made the call to the North Pole. He's
Excellent.
coming.
He can make it.
He can make it. Yep. We have stilt walkers. We have food, and we have, oh my goodness, what else do we have? Like, just everything. Like, we're gonna have this year. We added live music. So every year we try to add another new element, so people don't feel like they're coming to the same event every year. Oh, we have a petting zoo. We have pony rides. We have a snow globe. We make a snow globe for photos. So bring your cameras for your family photos. Like, have you not been? You need to come.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous,
I want to
fabulous
see
event.
Santa on stilts, though.
I don't know if you're going to get him on
You
stilts.
might see a snowflake or a snow princess, but that's about it.
That's a special
We have
talent.
the fire pit going.
Oh, nice.
New Beginnings is going to have a booth inside the concession stand for their fundraising for what the good deeds that they do. Geez, I can't. I'm definitely missing something.
When is this coming up?
December 3rd.
All right.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
It's from, I believe, Main Street Stroll starts at 2. I may be mistaken. I'm not part of the committee, so I don't want to misquote there. But I believe they start at 2 and end at 7. We go from 3 to 8. So, and we try not to do things. Winter Wonderland tries to run all their activities for 3 or 4 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to miss out on anything that's going on at the stroll. Go do the stroll. You can do it all without feeling like you're missing out on anything. Like, you don't have to pick one event or the other.
Yeah.
You can do both.
That's great scheduling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
we
that's-
definitely work together, and it's a great collaboration.
So
We're gonna see you there,
Mark
Mr.
that on.
Callahan?
Sure, you'll mark that on your calendar for December 3rd. Keep that day.
You know
open.
what I love?
What's that?
Wonderful family event. Wonderful for single people, the elderly, the 20-year-olds, the teenagers. This is an event that, like, sometimes Parks and Rec gets labeled, oh, those are just for all kids
For the
stuff.
kids.
It's
Yeah,
for the kids
yeah.
stuff. And yes, we do a lot of things for kids. Absolutely. And we do a lot of things for families. But we try, or I try as best as I can, to incorporate the other age groups and the other demographics of the city. You know, you'll have lawyers there and you'll have baggers there. You know, but you know, it's literally a little bit of everything for everyone, and it's all free, so you don't have to feel like you know, have to be there at 3:00 or else you're not going to get money's worth.
Right.
It's come, relax, enjoy, leave, come back, whatever.
All right.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time here in the program here at Coffee Inn. Want to remind you, everyone, the Eco Depot Collection Day for Rhode Island residents, and it's free, is this Saturday, October 29th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 1117 River Street, Woonsocket Public Services, better known as...
The Highway Barn.
There you go. Call for appointments to get rid of your household hazardous waste, 401-942-1430, extension 3241, or go online to ecodepotri.org. Liz, thanks for coming in and talking
Thank
about
you for
this.
having me.
Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you next week.
And we thank Dave Richards for being here as well. This is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for Do You Remember with Gary Smith and the crew coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.